The Galactic Council chamber shimmered with the light of 1,000 stars, each one representing a world under their rule. In the center sat the 12 Archons, beings older than most civilizations in the galaxy. Their voices echoed with arrogance as they reviewed the newest additions to their dominion. And today, their gaze fell upon a young, unassuming world, Earth. The Council's demand was simple. Every world that joined the Galactic Order paid tribute. Metals, resources, soldiers, proof of loyalty to the hierarchy. It was tradition, they claimed. It was law. Earth was no exception. The order was transmitted through subspace with an air of divine command: deliver 100,000 tons of precious metals and 1 million human laborers in service of the Council. Tribute is due within one cycle. Across the stars, the message was received with silence. No immediate reply. No delegation. No acknowledgement. The Council took it as hesitation, as fear. But Earth's silence was not fear. It was calculation. Days passed. Weeks. The Council grew impatient. Their envoys demanded compliance. Their fleets began to move closer to Sol, confident that the primitive humans would soon bow like every other world before them. They had no idea what was coming. Then, one morning, the Council's communication chamber flickered to life. A signal, encrypted, ancient, and yet perfectly translated. The insignia of Earth appeared, a single blue-white planet turning slowly in the void. And beneath it, a word blinked onto the display. It was one word: denied. The chamber fell into silence. The Archons leaned forward, disbelief twisting across their features. Denied? No world had ever refused the tribute order. None had dared defy the Council so directly. A single word, sent without emotion, without plea, without apology, just pure defiance. Admiral Vokhtar, commander of the 5th Enforcement Fleet, roared with laughter. These primitives have no concept of power. I'll have that word carved into their homeworld's ashes. The Council approved the invasion. 200 warships surged toward the Sol system, confident that a single human planet would crumble before galactic might. But when the fleet arrived, Earth was not defenseless. Humanity had prepared, not for surrender, but for war. Orbiting stations flickered to life, and ships, sleek, angular, and built with terrifying efficiency, rose from the darkness. They did not broadcast threats. They did not send ultimatums. The humans simply targeted and fired. The first volley erased the Council's flagship in a burst of silent light. In seconds, their formation collapsed. Every communication attempt was jammed by an AI voice repeating the same cold message: you were warned. Tribute denied. The survivors fled, but not far enough. Humanity tracked them through subspace, dismantling every relay, every outpost, every vessel that carried the Council's authority near human borders. Within days, the 5th Fleet was gone. Not defeated, erased. When news reached the Council, panic erupted. The Archons demanded explanations. They tried to rally more fleets, but whispers spread through the galaxy. Worlds long oppressed by tribute now saw hope. If humanity could say no and survive, maybe they could too. The Council sent emissaries again, this time not to threaten, but to reason. They approached Earth's ambassador through trembling words, begging for dialogue. Humanity agreed, and once again, the Council chamber was filled with the blue light of Earth's transmission. A single human appeared on the holographic feed, an older woman in a simple uniform, the emblem of Earth Command on her chest. Her expression was calm, her voice steady as she spoke. You sent us a demand. We sent you a word. You responded with war. We responded with truth. She paused, letting the silence weigh heavy. We don't pay tribute. We don't kneel. We don't serve. Her eyes hardened, and every Archon could feel the cold edge of human will in her tone. You rule through fear. But fear only works until someone stops being afraid. That day came when your fleet crossed into our space. The humans didn't threaten further. They didn't demand reparations. They simply ended the transmission. And for the first time in centuries, the Galactic Council found itself in complete silence, not from victory, but from terror, because the humans hadn't just defied them. They had rewritten the law of the galaxy with a single word. Every empire, every dominion, every slave world now whispered that word in their streets. Denied.it became the anthem of rebellion, the rallying cry of the free. And as the Council's power began to fracture, their envoys realized the truth too late: humanity hadn't just refused tribute. They had declared war on the very idea of galactic tyranny, and the galaxy would never be the same again. Word of Earth's defiance spread like wildfire through the galactic net. Slave worlds sang in secret. Governors once loyal to the Council hesitated to send their own tributes, wondering if humanity's courage was contagious, or if fear of Earth was now greater than fear of the Archons. The balance of terror had shifted overnight. On the Council's core world, chaos brewed beneath the marble halls of power. Armies of advisors screamed for retaliation, but even the Archons hesitated. They had seen the reports: vessels turned to plasma in seconds, encrypted systems overridden by something alive. Humanity's technology was not only efficient, it was unpredictable. For centuries, the Council had believed their fleets unmatched, their war doctrines unchallenged. But humanity had rewritten the rules of warfare. Their ships fought like predators, silent and merciless. Their AAS learned mid-battle, adjusting, evolving, and outmaneuvering. It wasn't warfare, it was extinction given purpose. Desperate for information, the Council dispatched spies and scientists into human space under diplomatic pretenses. None returned. The few transmissions intercepted were fragmented whispers, talk of black stations hidden behind suns, of experiments merging biology and machine, of soldiers who could breathe vacuum and move like shadows. And then came the second message. Not from Earth, but from one of the liberated worlds. A single sentence broadcast across the Council's channels: "We stand with humanity." The rebellion had begun. Council fleets scrambled to contain the uprisings, but their ships found themselves hunted, ambushed by human warcraft operating far beyond known limits. Humanity didn't conquer planets, they liberated them, then left them armed and free. Every act of defiance became another nail in the Council's coffin. Within months, the galactic order trembled. The tribute routes collapsed. Economies shattered. And still, the humans did not demand rule or territory. When the Archons finally sent a peace envoy, they were granted a meeting, not in some distant star system, but on Earth itself. The delegation arrived under heavy escort, their vessels forced to power down and drift to orbit. They expected intimidation. Instead, they were welcomed by silence: no grand armies, no banners, just the quiet strength of a people who didn't need to boast. The lead Archon, trembling behind his armor, spoke first. "What do you want from us, humans? Power? Seats on the Council? The spoils of victory?" The human envoy smiled slightly. "We want nothing. You mistake our defiance for ambition. We don't want your throne. We want you to understand." The Archon hesitated. "Understand what?" "That freedom," the human said, "is not yours to give. And it never was." The room fell into stunned quiet. No threat followed. No ultimatum. Just that truth, spoken with the certainty of a species that had survived its own chaos and turned it into resolve. When the meeting ended, the Archons left with more fear than they'd ever known. They realized humanity could have taken everything, yet chose not to. Because true power doesn't demand obedience. It simply doesn't need it. In the months that followed, dozens of worlds seceded from the Council. The tribute network collapsed entirely. The old order crumbled, leaving behind fragments of a once glorious empire. Everywhere, one word lingered like an echo across the stars. Denied. The humans retreated behind their borders, not in isolation, but in peace. They didn't expand, didn't conquer, didn't dictate. They watched. And the galaxy watched back, waiting for the next move that never came. The Council, now fractured, tried to rebuild, but the shadow of humanity lingered over every decision. Their fleets no longer dared approach Sol. Their diplomats spoke softly, their arrogance gone. The galaxy had learned a lesson it would never forget, and in the archives of the Galactic Council, a single entry remained unaltered, preserved for all history. The record of the tribute order sent to Earth, and humanity's one-word reply denied.